Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Cadopian Embassy staff member's murder?
Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead. The case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely.
Looks like you'll have to wait a bit longer for your big debut.
I suppose it can't be helped.
The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while.
Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member and the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel?
What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivete.
An outrageous circus. Right, sir.
I grow weary of this topic. Edgeworth, I will have you assigned to a different case.
Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you?
I'll consider it.
Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation.
Whatever for.
I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. However, there is not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt.
The perfect proof? Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you has no right to claim such things as perfection.
Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I, we're competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree?
If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish.
Then you're allowing us to continue?
In court, your top priority is to win. And a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? It wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Franziska, see to it I'm not disturbed, save as a result of your competition.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Papa!
Franziska, thank you.
What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means that the competition is still on.
Yes, just as you wished.
I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how well you fare on the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth.
I know I don't have enough information yet, so my first order of business will be to question anyone involved with this case. Miss Yew.
Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you?
You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Franziska von Karma, and I am about to become the successor to the family name.
About to? I guess that means for now, you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural that I didn't know who you are.
What?
Why are you whipping me?
Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting.
I'm terribly sorry, but I have but a few more questions to ask of you.
Look at you! Eyebrows scrunched with lines on your forehead. And that to ask of you.
What exactly is so funny?
Sorry. I'm just bad at dealing with super serious atmosphere.
Apparently, they failed to teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school.
I feel much better now. So what was it you wanted to talk about?
I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder.
We were in defendant lobby number 1 the whole time, up until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself.
You were with Detective Bad. Why?
We had a little something to discuss, that's all.
So I take it that you are acquaintances with Detective Bad?
Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG-8 incident.
What? Detective Bad is also related to that incident?
That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth?
Miles Edgeworth! I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KG8 incident from my papa, but how does that case relate to you, Miss Yew?
The victim of that case, CCU, was my little sister. You're making that super serious face again. I'm fine, really. I just make it a point to rub some more salt in his wounded pride every time I see him.
The way she talks about doing that as she laughs away is kind of creepy.
Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they met up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes.
I see. He did mention that he is in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail. You claim that at the time of the murder you were with Detective Bad.
But don't you lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during a recess?
We do, and that's what I was planning to do. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening and he dragged Mr. Rell away. After that, Mr. Bad came into lobby number 1, so we just stayed there and talked.
And what did you talk with Detective Bad about?
Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some, talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more.
Bloody. When she's not laughing, her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults.
Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were in defendant lobby number 1 when the murders occurred, so I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2.
I see. I'd like to ask a few questions about your client, Mr. Mackerel. Now, your client first claimed to be the Yatagarasu. Is that correct?
Yeah. Once I heard that it was the Yatagarasu that made off with the evidence from the KG8, I began to ask Mr. Rell all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out, Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. He had just made that up.
He made it up?
Mr. Rell's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras, but there's no footage of him sneaking into the Cadopian embassy itself.
Hold on for just 1 second. Then you mean to say that you knew that he was not the real Yatagarasu? And just another cold-blooded killer? And you were ready to defend him?
Yes, that's right.
I see. So a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job it is to cover for criminals.
That's why defense lawyers are so detestable. But they are no match for us Von Karmas.
I don't believe it! You're serious? Why don't you save that face for something really worth being serious about? And Edgeworth, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright?
And for that you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer?
Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to.
I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness. Miss Yew, I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself, but I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them.
Requests from companies?
The Yatagarasu isn't some petty thief out for money, you know?
Alright then. Perhaps the thief is in the business of stealing people's lives?
You're not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Fun Karma?
Franziska, be careful about who you whip. Choose carefully or we may be sued by—
There, I chose carefully, just like you wanted.
That just now was hilarious, little Missy.
Of course it was.
What is wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight?
And so in the end, what is the Yatagarasu? I have to say, I had never even heard of this thief when I was in Germany.
The Yatagarasu deals in information, namely in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the like of companies. The Yatagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and then gets it published for all to see.
Vigilante or not, this person sounds like just another criminal to me.
I suppose you could put it that way too. But either way, I get a lot more clients now thanks to that thief.
Sounds like Miss Yew is profiting nicely. I suppose I've gotten all I can out of Miss Yew. I should move on and speak with Detective Gumshoe now. Detective Gumshoe?
Hey! It's you, pal! You're here! Ouch!
As am I.
I don't think you needed to whip him to let him know that.
I didn't do it, pal! I swear on my honor as a detective, I really didn't!
Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, Detective. Once the investigation is fully over, and should we find out that you are the real killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you.
Have a heart, pal!
But you're not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about. If you really are innocent, that is.
That's right! Hey, pal! Go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, would ya?
I would have done so even had you not requested me to, Detective. So, you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you do to make him so angry?
I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because of my very first day as a detective. I reported in at my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. By the time I got down to Criminal Affairs, I was really late. And that's when he gave me that huge speech.
I remember doing the same exact thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I always wind up going to my old classroom.
How pathetic for the detective to be compared to a mere schoolchild. You claim to be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. However, when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom?
Earlier at around 3:20, and from Detective Bad Pal. Today's trial took a really crazy turn, so I was told to make sure nothing bad happened to Mr. Faraday.
And yet, something did happen to him, correct? It looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty.
Ow! Your words sting worse than your whip, pal!
So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh? Now then, Detective Gumshoe, is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nope. Not a thing, pal.
In that case, allow us to take a look at what you are carrying on your personage.
Wait! You can't do that!
There's nothing of any particular value here.
Well, my handcuffs and badge were confiscated by Detective Bad, you know.
And what is that open envelope I see sticking out of your coat pocket?
Ah! Hands off, pal!
Just show it to us already!
Yow!
Annual bonus check within $5 total, except there's no check inside.
You've had your look, now give it back, pal! It's my first bonus as a brand new detective! I just got it and cashed it today! I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know, so that envelope's really special to me! Now hand it back!
You don't eat rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away for you later.
How could you?
I'm sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning now.
I think I've asked him about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there is one piece of evidence I should reconfirm. Officer, I ask that you wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe.
Understood, but please make it brief, sir.
I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. You told me earlier that you heard no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct?
No mistake about it, pal!
Then you are also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct?
Yep, not even a single ant passed through that hole while I was on duty.
You do realize that the lie you're telling us is only making life more difficult for yourself.
Huh? Oh, but it's true! I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. I bet the killer found a way to kill the two guys that's beyond what even I can imagine.
So he intends to continue this ridiculous lie. But why would he do so given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant's lobby is in order.
Ah! You!
No!
How could you have not noticed that coming?
Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier?
Thanks! That's exactly what I needed.
Kids can sometimes be so cruel.
It looks like she dropped something. Maybe we should arrest the girl? She might turn out to be a valuable lead.
I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. I believe I've asked all I need of this man. Now for Detective Bad and the judge.
We have to confirm who is correct, the judge or that scruff face, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 next then.
I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Franziska?
So, did you see anything else?
No, I don't think so.
I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation.
Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law.
That'll be all for now. I'll ask again if I have any other questions.
Anytime, Detective. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. Oh, you're that new prosecutor Mr. Von Karma recommended, right?
My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor.
And I'm Manfred von Karma's daughter, Franziska von Karma. I'm set to become the successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor.
I see. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Von Karma, Miles Edgeworth, and Miss Jen... I bit my...
Are you alright, Your Honor?
Please feel free to refer to me as just Miss von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine.
Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of a proper title.
Oh, very well then. I shall call you Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth.
Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine, sir. Now, about your earlier testimony...
Yes? What about it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I would like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw.
Alright, after all, it is my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law.
I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor. Now, the first thing I will need to do is figure out that detective's exact movements.